Hello, Vital community. I have a new member of the family. It's that white box of 45s right there. So, hello again, Vital community. Matt here, and I have a new box here. It's taken the place of my VCR that was there, but that's another story. And I got a whole bunch of 45s to go through. Now, I have so many that I'm not going to go through them all in this one video. There'll be another video later in the week or in a few days where we'll finish the rest of them. But we do have quite a few of them to go through here. So, almost all of these are from my usual eBay seller. It's Kerry Carter 1976, I think is his username. Quite a few of you guys are now familiar with him and you bought stuff from him. He's in England, free shipping to anywhere in the world, which is awesome. He has pretty much doubled his starting price, which makes some sense. He probably got more popular and maybe he figured it just wasn't worth it with the free shipping because all the records were starting at 99p. Now they start at double that for the most part. So let's just dig in. Now, this first record actually is not from him. This is from a different eBay seller, but the Isley Brothers, Summer Breeze. I wanted this for a while, and finally I was just like, let's just buy it off eBay. So, great track. I know that Seals and Croft, of course, did the original, but I always thought the Isley Brothers version was superior, so very pleased to get that. That's on the yellow Epic label right there. Now, the rest of these are all from that one UK eBay seller. Mostly 80s, there's some 90s in here too, just a lot of pop, there's some dance stuff in here, so let's dig right in. Jack and Chill, the Jack That House Built. This is a great house track from 1988. Actually, it has a copyright of 87, but I remember it being in the charts in early 88. This is a really, really solid house track. I've always liked it. We also have Kylie Minogue, Shocked. One of Kylie's better songs, actually. I was surprised that nobody else bid on this. George Michael, Praying for Time. What a great track that is. That really is a nice song. I do have Listen Without Prejudice, the album that this is from, but I only have it on, let me think. I think I have it on cassette and CD, but I don't have it on vinyl, so very pleased to pick up what is arguably the best track from the album. Very pleased to win this to Hadaway, What Is Love. This was only a few pounds. You know, one or two other people did bid on it, but it's unusual to find it for as cheap as I'd normally expect to pay in dollars, at least 10, but maybe 15 for the single. So yeah, great dance track from the 90s. Shanice, I Love Your Smile, from 1992. Big hit. She was only like 15 or something when she recorded this song. It's sort of a I'm trying to think what genre to put it in. Pop R&B, slight hints of kind of dance music, but yeah, big hit in the UK. I think it was a number 2 in the UK. Here's another house classic, Inner City, Good Life. Yeah. I have both the 7 and 12-inch singles of Big Fun, which is actually a very similar song to this, but Good Life was the bigger hit, and I think the better song as well. This is from 1988, and yeah, really a house classic. You're gonna like this one. Check that out. Yeah. Pavarotti, Nessun Dorma. So this, you'll see that it says here, the official BBC Grandstand World Cup theme. This is from the 1990 World Cup in Italy. Of course, Pavarotti being Italian, Nessun Dorma being one of the I don't know if it's an opera, one of the songs that he's famous for. And this is so many memories for me. This is the first World Cup. And for those of you who don't know, I'm talking about soccer. This is the first World Cup that I remember watching. I remember 1986 vaguely. I remember having a sticker album of the 86 World Cup, as I did in 1990 as well, but I don't remember watching any of the games, whereas I did in 1990. Okay, moving on. Ace of Base, Don't Turn Around. Yeah, classic. The Aswad mix. Now, Aswad, it was a huge hit for Aswad in '88 in the UK. Got to #1. They didn't do the original. I forget who the original was by. It wasn't Aswad. I'm almost certain it wasn't. But I think their version's the best, to be honest. Better than the Ace of Base version. But this is still good, you know. Still got some memories. And I used to have the CD single of this when I was a teenager. Here we go. Some classic early '80s. The Vapors, Turning Japanese. This is very early '80s, actually. It's from 1980. And, yeah, I can't think what kind. I love the artwork on it. Look at that. I'm trying to think what kind of genre to put this in. It all falls into that sort of post-punk, new wave, slightly alternative sound. Anyway, next up, Mel and Kim, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. I had the opportunity to buy this when I was in England a couple of years ago, and I didn't. I'd sort of set myself a budget. There was a market in the town that I grew up in, and there was a guy there who had a ton of records for sale. I ended up buying. Actually, it was last year. No, it wasn't 2 years ago. It was last year. I ended up buying. What did I buy? The Walker Brothers. Deep Purple. In rock, and one or two others. And anyway, they had a bunch of Christmas singles, and I ended up not buying them. But anyway, now I have this one. I used to have this as a kid. I had this as an 8-year-old. Top 10 here, I think even a top 5 hit in the UK. Now, this of course is not the Mel and Kim. No, it's not the Stock Aitken Waterman Mel and Kim. No. This is Mel Smith, who was a comedian, and Kim Wilde. It's actually and of course it's the classic Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, which was originally by I don't know. I'm gonna say Brenda Lee. It's not gonna be Brenda Lee. Someone will correct me, but anyway, the classic song. And I had it as a kid, so I was like, I'm gonna have to pick that up. Oh, plus, it was the official comic relief song as well in in '87. The copyright's '87 on here. Okay, next up, 49ers, Touch Me. This is a fairly early house track from '88, I think. Doesn't say, I'm pretty sure it's '88. So, yeah. Apparently this contains the sexual version. That must be the mix. I hope. Robert Howard and Kim Mazel, Wait. The record is in here, it's just at the back right here. I think this is one of the best pop songs of the '80s. This is a terrific track. This might be a double. I might already have it. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't check yet. But it's a really good pop song. Hot Chocolate, You Sexy Thing. This is the Ben. Is it Lee Brand or Liebrand? I never knew how to pronounce it. In my head, I always said Lee Brand, but I don't know. The Ben Lee Brand remix from 1987. Well, it just says 75 on it, but the remix is from, I'm wondering if this is actually the correct record in here. Let's check it. I wonder if this is, let's have a look. Oh yeah, it is. I suddenly thought because of the copyright, maybe this is like the original that's in here. But no, this is the remix version. The remix doesn't add much, to be honest, but, it's not bad. This is a great track. Hooters, Satellite. Yeah. From 1987, really good rock song. I always liked it. It was, I think it was a pretty big hit. I'm sure it was like a top 20 in the UK. Another dance track here from 1993, Sub Sub, featuring Melanie Williams. Ain't No Love, Ain't No Use. Big hit, number 3, I think, in the UK. I always remember it too because, so. For those of you who don't know, the FA Cup is a soccer cup competition in England, and the teams play each other. It's a knockout, and eventually 2 teams reach the final, and the final is always played in May. And I remember the FA Cup final of 1993. They played a little segment which showcased the 2 sides that were going to be playing each other, and this was the background music. It's funny the things you remember. I always remember them playing this. Just like I remember the 1990 World Cup, they did the same thing. I think it was before the final. They showed like a montage of highlights from the tournament, and the background music to that was "The Heat Is On" by Glenn Frey. Just funny the things you remember. All right, moving on because we're only about halfway through. Billy Joel, "The River of Dreams." What a great track this is. I mean, Billy Joel is a tremendous songwriter. You know, you could argue where "The River of Dreams" falls in the scale of things, if it's one of his better songs or not. I think it's somewhere in the middle. But it's just this is a little bit of a comeback for him. 1989, I think. Oh, 93. 93. I was getting confused with We Didn't Start the Fire. 1993. So this is a little bit of a later track for him. Okay, Sybil, "When I'm Good and Ready." Now, this was actually produced by Stock and Waterman. I think it's written by them too. Let me see. Yeah, now not Stock, Aitken, Waterman. By this point, Aitken had left, Matt Aitken. So it just left Mike Stock and Pete Waterman. So this was a big hit. Top 10 dance song, 1993. Yeah. More Stock, Aitken, Waterman. Well, this one actually is with Aitken. Sabrina, "All of Me." This was from 88. Yeah, 1988. I believe this was the follow-up to her big hit, "Boys, Boys, Boys." And it's okay. Well, it's not bad. Good pop song. All right, East 17. West End Girls. Not West End Boys. Well, it says East End Boys, West End Girls on it. Cover version of the Pet Shop Boys song, of course. West End Girls. And this is a very nice picture disc, which I didn't know when I ordered it. I had no idea it was a picture disc, and I had, I think, one or two more in here as well. Yeah, it's a cover version. It's just an okay cover version, I'm going to be honest with you. But nobody else bid on it. So for 99p or whatever it was, I think this is right before he jacked his prices up. I've got more records over here. This whole stack over here. Those ones were a little more, but this is right before he put his prices up. This was a moderate hit, top 20 I think, for East 17 in 93. Here we go, classic. Come on, The Simpsons, "Do the Bartman." Come on. I used to have this when I was a kid. In fact, I think I had did I have the cassette single? No, I think I had the 7-inch single when I was a kid. It's an absurd song, but I had to have it. I couldn't pass it up. I also bid on "Deep Deep Trouble," which was the follow-up, and it was actually a bigger hit than this, I think. "Deep Deep Trouble" was number 1. I'm not sure that "Do the Bartman" was. I feel like this was like number 3 or something. Somebody can correct me on that. But yeah, from 1990, and I bid on "Deep Deep Trouble," and somebody else outbid me, but I did win "Do the Bartman," so very cool. Next up, another boy band. Take That, Pray. I promise I do sometimes show, you know, I mean, look, I sometimes show other stuff. There's the Beatles. I'm still with you. It's all good. It's all good. But I like a lot of stuff, a lot of different types of music. So Take That, Pray. Huge number 1 hit for Take That in 93. And yeah, it's a good song. I think it's one of their better songs. Gary Barlow is a very good songwriter. He was primarily the lead singer of Take That as well. Okay, now let's switch gears completely. And Tenpole Tudor, "Swords of a Thousand Men." Alternative, new wavy, post-punk, it all falls into that. Yeah, definitely a little alternative. It's sort of a bit of a cult hit from the 80s. Next up, I was delighted to win this. r.e.m, "Everybody Hurts." What a great song this is. Overplayed a little bit, maybe too much airplay on the radio, yeah, perhaps, but it doesn't detract from it. It's still a great song, it really is. But it's actually probably one of my favorite songs of all time. I mean, it's not like in the top 3 or anything, but it might be in the top 30, 20 or 30. Seriously, what a great song. This was only a few pounds. I was really surprised it didn't go for more than that. Next up we have Natalie Cole, "Miss You Like Crazy." Again, this is all based on nostalgia. I used to like this when I was a kid. That's what a lot of my record buying is based on. And it's a ballad from 1989. Don't remember how it did in the charts. I do remember it was on Now That's What I Call Music 15. I think it was the last track on side 3. Isn't it sad that I remember that? But or the second last track on side 3. But anyway, yeah, it's good. Anyway, more dance music. 2 Unlimited. Get ready for this. This is from 91, is it? Yeah, 1991. Yeah, unbelievable track. Really, not their biggest hit. Their biggest hit in the UK was probably No Limit, because that was #1. But this was, I think this was a top 3 still. And that really kick-started their career. Next up we have Shakin' Stevens, A Little Boogie Woogie. This was a little bit of a minor hit of his, but I had it as a kid. Again, it's the nostalgia, you know. I can't help it. When I'm browsing, like this eBay seller, I'll go and browse his items. Sometimes I'll be searching his listings as well, but other times I'll just browse, and I'll come across something that I had as a kid. I got a bid on it. It's like automatic, you know. It's kind of the vinyl addict in me in a way, but it's true. I'll be like, oh, you know, you just gotta go. I got a bid on that. So it's actually not bad. I mean, Shakin' Stevens this is a little past his prime in '87. His bigger hits were in the early '80s, early to mid '80s. So by the time the late '80s were rolling around, you know, he was still busting out the odd hit like this, but it wasn't a big hit. It made the top 40, but it wasn't like a top 10 or anything. Anyway, next up we have Desireless Voyage Voyage, or, because it's French, Voyage Voyage. Now, this is the PWL remix. Pete Waterman of Stock Aitken Waterman, and Pete Hammond, who was like the chief engineer. And I have to be honest, the remix doesn't really add anything to the song. It's still basically the same track. It just has a slightly different beat to it. But it did help it from a chart perspective, because it was originally released in the UK in '87, didn't even make the top 40. The remix made #10, so you could argue that having it mixed did something for record sales, if nothing else. All right, next we have UB40 featuring Chrissie Hynde from The Pretenders. I Got You, Babe. Cover version of the Sonny and Cher song. Yeah, let's move on. Another dance track. What a great song this is. Capella, You Got to Let the Music. This is from 1993 as well. Sensational dance track. This really is. And you know what I like about these as well? When you get the little stickers, see Woolworths right there. This originally cost £2.29 back in the day. It says 076. That might be a store code. So it could have told me where it came from, I suppose, if I'd looked it up. Next up we have The Funky Worm, The Spell. I guess this is loosely house music from 1988, I think. Yeah, 1988. Not a big chart hit, but I love the artwork. That's really cool. And it's a good song. I like it. All right. Liza Minnelli, good old Liza, Losing My Mind. Yeah, now this is produced by the Pet Shop Boys, and you can really tell, like, it really sounds like one of their songs, like the beat and the chords and everything. Yeah, nice song. Good pop song. I was thrilled to find this next one. This is probably my favorite record out of this lot. And for it to only cost a few pounds. New Order, True Faith, 94. This is a 1994 remix. In my opinion, it is significantly superior to the original track. You just have to listen, especially the chorus. The chorus makes much more sense. They structured it a little bit differently for the remix, and it just flows so much better. The original, I actually find it a little jarring. The original's a great track, and in fact I have the 7-inch single of that too. But the original I find now to be a little bit jarring when I go back to it, now that I'm familiar with the 94 version. I say now, I mean I've been familiar with it since I was 15 years old in 1994, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I like I said, thrilled to find it. I love the artwork on it too. Thrilled that nobody else bid, or hardly anyone else bid on it. See, I'm getting all excited. I'm slurring my words. I'm just trying to get through it all. Okay, next up, London Boys and London Nights. Now, I do have the 12 Commandments of Dance, which was the album that this was on, released in 1988. But I seem to remember somewhere in the back of my mind that the album had a skip or two, and I couldn't remember what it skipped on. I didn't pay a lot for it. I found it in a record store locally, which was surprising. But nobody else bid on it, 99p, so I thought, you know, I'll have the 7-inch single of London Nights, which was one of the 2 top 40 hits off the album. Next we have Elaine Page and Barbara Dixon. I Know Him So Well from the musical Chess. Nice ballad. It's been covered quite a few times. Womack and Womack, Teardrops. Big number 3 hit, I think, in the UK, 1988. Yeah, it's. I mean, the cover is horrific, but it's a decent song. Oh yeah, here we go. Milli Vanilli, Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You. I'm hoping this is an upgrade. I do have the 45 of this, but it has a little warp in it. It still plays, but nobody else bid on it. So I thought, for that price, what the heck, you know, it'll be an upgrade. More Stock Aitken Waterman, Sunita, I Don't Believe in Miracles. Slightly later hit for her, it's from '88. Well, I say later, it's from her second album. And it's decent. This is also another horrific cover. I mean, that is... yeah, I mean, it was the 80s, what can I say? Alright, fast forward to 1994 and the... I'm sorry, no, 1992. And Wet, 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 Good Night Girl. Pretty sure this was a #1 hit. This was big hit in the UK. Nice poppy ballad sort of song. Alright, we're getting near the end here. Nina Cherry, Man-Child. I have to be honest, when I bid on this, I didn't know what song it was because it doesn't say on the cover. And I don't think he said in the listing, it just said Nina Cherry. And after I won the auction, I thought to myself, well, I better look that up in Discogs. So I looked it up and found the cover, and it's Man-Child, which is a really great track. It might be my favorite song of hers. Man-Child and Buffalo Stance are both equally good. Another top 10 big hit in the UK. Thrilled that nobody else bid on this either, or maybe one other person did, but I still got it for cheap. The Alarm, Rain in the Summertime. Yeah, that's a great track. Okay, Ferry Across the Mersey. This is various artists. It was Stock Aitken Waterman produced it, and you can tell from the music. It's Paul McCartney, the Christians, Holly Johnson, and Jerry Marsden of Jerry and the Pacemakers. This was all about the Hillsborough disaster. This also goes back to the FA Cup that I was talking about earlier. This was an FA Cup semi-final, I believe, in 1989. It was held at Hillsborough, which is a soccer stadium, and big disaster. There was I won't go into all the details, but a lot of people died, big crush of people. It was also very controversial. What role did the police play in it? Anyway, we don't need to go into all of that. Next up, Roy Orbison, You Got It. What a great track that is. Really. Yeah, it's sort of a little bit of a comeback song for him in 1989. Yeah. I've shown this before, Torval and Dean. I got this for nostalgia. I already bought this from the same seller a couple of months ago, but it doesn't skip, but it's really crackly, even though I've cleaned it, of course. So it's just got probably a lot of groove wear, a lot of dirt, even having cleaned it, and nobody else bid on it. So for 99p, I'm happy to take a chance on an upgrade copy. It looks nice, the condition, and it's, you know, Torval and Dean, ice dancers, ice skaters. It's another one that I had as a kid. What can I say? Then finally, Kylie Minogue, Hand on Your Heart. I used to have this as a kid. This is a terrific pop song. You know, you say what you want about Stock Aitken Waterman, how they were how their sound was like manufactured and artificial, cookie cutter to a certain extent, sure, but they put out some great pop songs. They really. I think this is one of Kylie's better tracks. So that's it. You know, I think actually, you know, that was only 23 minutes. Given that we went through like 40 records, I think that's pretty quick. So, sorry that I got a little rambly partway through. You know, I get excited showing these records. But if you'd like to comment, please. I always enjoy everybody's feedback. If you would like to subscribe, hit the button below. Hit the little bell icon below as well to be notified every time I post a new video. It's at least twice a week. It seems to be more frequently recently. But yeah, thank you as always for watching, guys. And until next time, bye-bye.